Today we're installing a cold air intake on our 2010 Dodge 6.7 liter Cummins. This is an S&B cold air intake. Part number is 75-5057. As with any install, before you begin removing your stock air box from your truck, you'll want to check your parts list from your air intake to make sure that all parts are included. If you're missing a part, stop right there. Call us here at Thoroughbreds, or you can call S&B directly. Their contact information will be on your instruction sheet. Our install tools are going to be a little bit different from what you're going to find in your instruction sheet. We actually used a 13 metric socket and ratchet, 5/16 nut driver, 7 metric nut driver, 5/16 box end wrench, and a pair of hose clamp pliers. You probably won't have these in your tools. Any pliers will work. Here's a quick look at the components of the 75-5057 kit from S&B for the 2010 to 2012 Dodge 6.7 liters. And we'll just start here with the filter. The replacement filter for this kit will be a part number KF-1053A. Now, this is a lifetime filter. You purchase the S&B recharge kit for this, clean it, re-oil it, you'll get many years of use out of this filter. But if you want to purchase a new one, if yours just goes too far and you just want to purchase a new one, we offer those on the website. S&B's kits are molded plastic, very well designed, very well manufactured. This is your air intake box. Of course, this is the air intake tube. You'll also receive a hardware bag in the kit that will come with some clamps. You've got your silicone adapters for attachment of the turbo and the different piping in the kit. And then we've got an air box plug. This is a little bit different on this kit. According to S&B's testing results for this kit, with the box plug installed, you're going to get about 40% better airflow than your stock air box. Now, with the box removed, you'll get almost 50% better airflow over your stock box. So for our application, we're going to leave the plug out of the air intake box because we want to get the most out of the kit for our tests. Now, if you're worried about engine heat, you'll want to add this plug to your kit. Okay, first thing we're going to do in removing our stock air box is we're going to disconnect both the batteries, both negative cables on the batteries, and get us ready for our removal of our stock air box. Then we're going to unhook both sensors. What we're going to do is we're going to take the stock box out itself first. So this is our mass airflow sensor. It's got a red locking tab on it. You just pull the locking tab up, and then the quick connect on the back of it let you remove it. Your air intake temperature sensor, it's just got a locking tab on the bottom of it, and remove it. Now we're going to leave the sensors attached. The wiring loom is attached to the box here with a little quick connect. We're going to get that disconnected. 5/16 nut driver, the air intake tube. We'll remove the air intake tube from the stock box lid. Alright, then the stock box lid has a couple of quick latches here. Gonna remove those, 2 of those, and then get our wiring harness. Lid removed. Remove our stock filter, get it out of the way. Now to remove the box. There's a 13 metric hold down bolt here at the front of the engine bay. We're going to remove it. Keep that bolt for later installation. And you just simply want to prise up on the box to remove it from the stock tray. Now we're we're going to remove our stock air intake tube. This removal of the stock box is just really a two-step process. It's really basic. So there's an air intake tube here that goes up to the crankcase breather. We're going to remove this clamp. Just move it up the tube here and out of your way. 5/16 nut driver. Loosen the clamp at the turbo. You gotta have David Allen Cole playing on the radio to be able to do an air box install here at Thoroughbred Diesel. Disconnect the air intake tube from the turbo. Crankcase breather tube, just simply pull it down. And there you go. Now we're going to start with our install of our S&B air intake. First thing we want to do is we want to remove our mass airflow sensor and air intake temperature sensor from the stock box lid. That's a 7 metric nut driver. I'll let you do that. Gently remove them and just sit those aside for reinstall. We're going to install our air intake temperature sensor first. Now you'll get a hardware pack that will come in the kit that'll have the new mass airflow gasket and the air intake temperature gasket and some hardware stainless steel screws. They're actually Phillips heads. We didn't mention that in the tools that were needed. Beg our pardon. Air intake temperature sensor, install the new gasket, and you'll put it in the filter adapter here. Just simply push it down. Install your new hardware. Only one direction that it can go. Then your mass airflow sensor goes on to your air intake tube. Now, the mass airflow sensor is going to be directional, and it'll be marked on the side of the sensor which way the airflow is supposed to go. So you want your sensor pointing towards the cab of the truck. Install your new gasket. There's a notch in the gasket for a rib there on the air intake tube, so it actually won't let you put it in wrong. Install your new screws, and there you go. You've got two silicone connections in this kit. There'll be a smaller one that'll have S&B's logo stamped on it, and then a large one for the air intake box. The smaller one is the one that goes to the turbo. It's you get 4 clamps in your kit. You get some 72 mil clamps and 64 mil clamps. Your 64 mil clamps are the ones that go on the smaller of the two silicones. That get the smaller of the two silicones, and this one will be attached to the turbo. So 5/16 nut driver. You'll actually want to put your clamps on first before you attach it to the turbo. Make it easier for you to get to. Just like that right there. Now we're going to attach it to the turbo. Okay, we've got our first silicone air intake connection attached to the turbo. We left our clamps loose, got both of our clamps on. We removed the stock clamp that we had resting up here for the crankcase breather tube. Now what we're going to do is we're going to install the supplied S&B new section of air intake tube. There's 2 new clamps for this in the hardware bag. 1/4 inch nut driver that'll let you loosen and tighten those clamps. We're going to install this tube first, kind of position it out of our way. Now we're going to install the S&B air intake. Make sure you leave all your clamps loose. Then you'll want to install your crankcase breather tube. Now your crankcase breather tube, you just push it down, get it ready to tighten up. So there's our air intake assembly installed. Just want to make sure you leave everything loose until you do your final install here, so everything will fit up and won't give you nearly as much trouble. Now we're going to put in our S&B air intake box. We're going to be using these rubber grommets back that the stock box was attached to. On the bottom of the S&B box, you've got your standards there that they'll go into. Alright, so and when we're installing this, what we've decided to do is leave this coolant hose attached, everything attached, and we're going to install the box over top of it because it's just going to give us just enough clearance to be able to still install our bolt. So simply lay your air box in place, get it started in your rubber grommets. There. S&B has supplied you with a new bolt for the front of the air intake box. It is an Allen head 5 metric. It goes back into stock location. There's our box installed. Now the second silicone connection is going to be this bellow right here. We've got both of our clamps installed and loose. And we're going to put that on the air intake pipe, make sure everything's still attached there. Now we're going to go out and build our lid. Our S&B filter has to be attached to our lid. We put our clamp on, left it loose. Now install the lid on it. And we'll bring that whole assembly back over and put it in the box. Our S&B filter is attached to our lid, and we do have it tight. Now there's going to be a groove here that'll just rest right in this channel and help everything hold into place. So we're simply going to install that. Then install it into our air intake tube. Okay. Now, finishing up, we've got our air box installed here. One of the final things that you'll do is you'll have a hardware bag that'll have 4 Phillips headed bolts in it, 2 larger, 2 smaller ones. Both of them have got rubber grommets on them. Before you start to tighten the top of the air box down, you'll need to put your plastic S&B engraved lid on there. Then put your fasteners in, both bolts. And you can tighten those down anytime you want to. Now will be when you want to go back over each connection and check that everything is still attached. Okay, everything looks good. So one of the things that we're going to do now is the electrical connectors, the stock electrical connectors. This little quick plug here, we're going to cut it off, because if you don't, your electrical connectors won't reach back to your air intake temperature sensor. So mass airflow sensor, install it. Air intake temperature sensor, now it fits. And there you are. Now all we have to do is walk back through each connection, tighten everything down, and we're going to get it on the dyno and see what she'll do. So here's our 755057 installed on our 2010 Dodge. Really easy install, really great product. We really like S&B intakes. This install took us approximately maybe 30 minutes to do the whole thing, off and on, other than doing the videos. Now that you've got everything installed, you'll want to reconnect your negative battery cables and enjoy.